And the latest from the Israel-Hamas war. 24 hostages have been released by Hamas and 39 prisoners have been released by Israel as a part of a 4-day truce.
When the harsh realities of conflict zones are captured on camera, the world witnesses more than just news. It confronts the raw, unfiltered struggles of humanity. These are the stories of lives caught in the crossfire of the Israel-Hamas conflict and the hostages held in Israeli prisons. Join us as we uncover the narratives hidden within viral prison footage, which nobody was meant to see. Background information. The recent prison footage related to the Israel-Hamas conflict have brought to light the ongoing struggle faced by Palestinians. The conflict, characterized by violence, escalated notably in October 2023. During this period, Hamas launched a large-scale attack on Israel. This attack, involving air, land, and sea strikes, was a response to the long-standing oppression of Palestinians under Israeli occupation. This caused much chaos and distress at the site of the attack, where an Israeli music festival was being held.
Yeah, good morning, George. We're actually only a couple of miles away from the Gaza border, and when that infiltration, that large-scale attack happened, Hamas militants came right into the center of this town. We saw wild videos of them opening fire on civilians. Dozens were killed, and this was the police station. It was overrun by militants, the scene of a pitched battle. Many people died, but as you say, the single worst incident of this entire attack was at a party just a few miles away.
The Hamas attack on October 7th must be understood in the context of a history of oppression under Israel's occupying forces. The harsh living conditions, restrictions on movement, and economic hardships have been a constant reality for Palestinians. Israel's subsequent bombing campaigns in Gaza, targeting various civilian structures, including schools and hospitals, have been criticized for disproportionately affecting civilians, including women and children. These actions have raised serious concerns about Israel's adherence to international laws of war. In the wake of these events, a truce was briefly achieved, leading to an exchange of prisoners and hostages. On November 24th, 24 Israeli hostages were released by Hamas, and Israel freed 39 Palestinians held hostage in Israeli prisons. This swap was a small step towards de-escalation in a situation marked by fear and uncertainty, particularly for Palestinians in Gaza. The Israeli government, led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, has maintained a strict approach, aiming to end Hamas's rule in Gaza.
Hamas will understand that by attacking us, they've made a mistake of historic proportions. We will exact a price that will be remembered by them and Israel's other enemies for decades to come.
On the other hand, Hamas, ruling Gaza since 2007 and reportedly receiving support from Iran, has resisted. They have called for the need to defend Palestinian rights. The prison footages. Despite the many Palestinians being released from Israeli prisons, the viral videos have left the world in shock. One of the footages shown is of Ahed Tamimi. Ahed Tamimi, a 22-year-old Palestinian activist, was recently released from Israeli prison as part of an exchange between Israel and Hamas. Born to an activist family in Nabi Saleh, Tamimi rose to international prominence in 2017, following the viral footage of her confronting Israeli soldiers. This act led to her initial imprisonment. This footage captured her slapping and kicking 2 soldiers, after which she served 8 months on assault and incitement charges. Tamimi's latest arrest occurred on November 6, 2023, amid the war with Gaza. The Israel Occupational Forces accused her of involvement in terrorist activities based on a social media post that they attributed to her. However, Tamimi's mother contested these charges, claiming her daughter's Instagram account had been hacked. Her release was part of a larger prisoner exchange deal, which included 30 Palestinian prisoners and 10 Israeli hostages. Video footage from the Associated Press showed an emotional scene at her release, with Tamimi surrounded by supporters and well-wishers. A notable moment was when a woman embraced her, urging her to be strong, to which Tamimi responded affirmatively, highlighting her resilience. Tamimi's image and story have become symbols of resistance against the Israeli occupation in the West Bank. Her village, Nabi Saleh, has been a focal point for protests since 2009, when tensions escalated due to illegal Jewish settlers. Human rights organizations, including Human Rights Watch, have criticized the incarceration of minors and the conditions of Palestinians in Israeli prisons, pointing to humanitarian concerns and issues of due process. Tamimi's release was a significant event in the ongoing complex relations between Israel and Palestinian territories, reflecting broader issues of political conflict and human rights in the region. However, the cases don't end here. The release of footage by Israel's prison service showing a young Palestinian prisoner named Mohammed without bandages was a response to claims that Palestinian prisoners had been beaten. The video is meant to disprove these allegations, focusing on Mohammed's unbandaged hands, although they are mostly not visible in the footage. According to the prison service, Mohammed received a medical check before leaving prison, and no injuries were found. However, this footage has been questioned due to conflicting medical evidence. X-rays provided by Palestinian doctors in Ramallah and later reviewed by 2 UK doctors showed fractures in both of Mohammed's hands. This contradiction between the Israeli prison service's video and the medical reports from Palestinian and UK doctors highlights the ongoing dispute over the treatment of Palestinian prisoners. This incident is a part of the larger issue of verifying facts in the Israel-Palestine conflict, where information is often contested. The use of media in this case raises questions about how it can be used to support different narratives. Additionally, footage of one of the grimmest prison cases in Israel has been circulated again. Ahmad Manasra's case, involving his arrest at just 13 years old, highlights significant issues in the Israel-Palestine conflict. Ahmad suffered a brutal attack by an Israeli mob and was hit by an Israeli vehicle, leading to serious injuries including skull fractures and internal bleeding. The situation worsened when a video surfaced showing him injured on the ground, with Israeli bystanders shouting insults and telling him to die. This video caused widespread shock and condemnation. Additionally, a video of Ahmad being interrogated harshly by Israeli authorities added to the public outrage. This interrogation raised serious concerns about how young Palestinians are treated by the Israeli legal system. Despite the acknowledgement by the courts that Ahmad did not participate in the attack he was associated with, he was still charged with attempted murder. This charge, given his age and the circumstances of his arrest, brought attention to the treatment of Palestinian minors by Israeli authorities and the legal standards used in such cases. The videos of his ordeal and the legal actions that followed highlight the deep human impact of the Israeli occupation and the need for consistent application of human rights standards, especially for vulnerable individuals like children. These videos shed critical light on the treatment of prisoners and hostages. It raises important questions about following the Geneva Conventions, which set standards for humane treatment in war. This footage shows the living conditions, physical and emotional states, and how these prisoners were captured, which is essential for assessing if Israel and Hamas are following international humanitarian laws. Other videos have been coming in from Palestine showing the state of the civilians under severe attack. The footage of a young Palestinian girl grieving the loss of her mother in the Israeli bombardment of Gaza adds another deeply human dimension to the conflict. In the video, the girl recognizes her mother being carried away and is heard crying, "I recognize her by her hair. Why, God, did you take her from me? I can't live without her."
هي والله هي انا بعرفها مش عارفه هي ليش ربنا اخذها مني ليش اخذها مني يا الله والله ما بقدر اعيش بدوني يما ليش
The despair in her voice and her emotional collapse onto a chair highlight the profound personal tragedies unfolding amidst the broader conflict. This incident vividly illustrates the impact of the violence on civilians in Palestine. The targeting of residential areas in Gaza, leading to civilian casualties, has been a point of significant international concern and condemnation. The girl's words and her visible state of distress bring to light the immense human cost of these actions. Such incidents suggest that the conflict's repercussions extend far beyond political and territorial disputes, deeply affecting the lives and emotional well-being of innocent civilians, particularly children. The girl's reaction and the loss of her mother in such circumstances highlight the broader accusations of disproportionate violence and civilian targeting in the conflict. It reflects the devastating impact of what some describe as a genocide targeted at Palestinian civilians. This term, often used to describe systematic and deliberate extermination of a particular group, is controversial and heavily debated in the context of the Israel-Palestine conflict. However, incidents like this underscore the urgent need for adherence to international humanitarian laws and norms aimed at protecting civilians, especially children, in conflict zones. The profound grief and despair of the young girl, mourning her mother, capture the personal losses that are often overlooked in discussions about the broader geopolitical dynamics of the Israel-Palestine conflict. The release of this footage also shows the challenging role of media in conflict zones. It poses a dilemma between the public's right to know and protecting the privacy and safety of those in the footage. Media outlets and social media platforms have to balance sharing important information without causing harm or distress to the people shown and their families. Additionally, this footage can be used to investigate possible war crimes and violations of international law. Both Israel and Hamas have been accused of targeting civilians and using too much force. These accusations are taken seriously at the international level, and the footage could help international legal groups and human rights organizations hold those who break international humanitarian laws responsible. Impact on public opinion and media. These prison footage from the Israel-Hamas conflict have had a significant impact on public opinion and the way the media covers conflicts. The videos have brought the harsh realities of this ethnic cleansing to the forefront, showing the personal suffering of those involved. It's shifted the conversation from broad political debates to the actual experiences of people living through the conflict. This situation has also highlighted the media's important role in conflict zones, emphasizing the need for truthful reporting. The debate over journalistic ethics, especially regarding graphic material and its effects on viewers and those depicted, has become more pronounced. Impact on Palestinian people and broader implications. The United Nations General Assembly's call for a humanitarian ceasefire, with 153 countries in favor, reflects the international concern. However, Israel and the United States voted against it, highlighting the political complexities. The impact of Israel's assault is severe, with more than 18,700 people killed, including over 7,700 children. This tragic loss has been a catalyst for international outrage. The Armed Conflict Location and Events Data Project reports that between October 7 and November 24th, there were over 7,283 pro-Palestine protests in more than 118 countries. This widespread protest movement is a direct response to the images and videos from Gaza, showcasing the conflict's brutality. The boycott, divestment and sanctions movement has gained momentum, influenced by the visual evidence of the conflict. People around the world are boycotting companies that support Israel, aiming to apply economic pressure. This movement draws parallels with historic movements like the South African anti-apartheid struggle, focusing on rights and justice for Palestinians. On university campuses, particularly in the United States, students are actively protesting and calling for divestment from Israel-linked entities. Despite challenges, including censorship, these students are a key part of the global voice against the Israeli actions in Gaza. The power of social media and first-hand footage has been instrumental in raising awareness and driving international protests, reflecting a growing global consciousness about the situation in Palestine and the need for a resolution towards peace and justice. The footage gives us a glimpse into the world of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in a way that has never been seen before. These viral stories have changed the worldview and exposed the truth. Now that these footages have surfaced, it leaves us with one question. Would these videos result in de-escalating the war, or would these be just predecessors of other similar videos yet to come? Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below, so you don't miss out on more videos like the one on the screen now.